Okay. So welcome. Okay. Make sure my lips say.
Oh, no.
Nah, man. I did one stories from the car, and I was watching it yesterday. Nigga, and I had the camera close up, and I had crust around my nose.
Ew.
Oh, bro. And I zoomed in.
Wait.
I can't believe I actually put this on YouTube and everything. Just looking crusty.
Okay, I think I'm okay. All right.
What's going on, everybody? So, for this week's edition of Stories from the Car, I got my sister, Megan. She in here. She got to help me with this one. So, this week, I'm going to tell you all about, our house being haunted. Now, you remember this, correct?
Facts, yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, let me tell you something. When did we move into the house?
I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. I think it was 6th grade. Because I just started going to Washington.
Okay. Yeah. So then, I'd have been 4th grade. Yeah, so we moved into this house. This house was in the Central, back when it was black.
Facts.
My grandfather owned his house, the house next door, which was the house we lived in, and the lot next door to that, which also had a house on it, which my uncle eventually moved into. And so they had this. My mom grew up in this house. Amen.
Where am I looking?
Right here.
Got you. Okay.
You just looking at yourself?
Yeah.
But they had moved out, right? And the house got boarded up. Now, my grandfather still lived in his house, but the house next door and the house next door to that was boarded up, and like junkies and stuff was up in and out of there and all that good stuff, all that bad stuff. So we go in there, we unboard the place, and there's syringes and all kind of just stuff around.
Right.
So, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say I don't remember that, but
you don't remember? Well, no, there was it because there was like above, you know, the room that was mine that eventually came Mom and Chris's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That those windows up on the ledge, there were syringes up there. Yeah, it was
where the
crazy.
stairs led up to on the outside.
What? No, the room that was first mine.
The front room
with the big tree.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, there was syringes up there. But anyway, so Mom did her super mom thing. We started cleaning the place up. You know, Chris, everybody, help was everywhere, right? We was in this piece. And something wasn't right. Now, I think Mom initially knew it because she came through with the, what's that stuff called? Sage. Mom was like, something ain't right in here. So we're going to burn some sage. We obviously was not well versed in the Lord at that time because I don't think sage helped. I think it hurt. What's the first? Okay, so we're gonna tell you some of the freaky stuff that happened in our house. What's the first thing you remember?
First thing
we're not gonna go in chronological order. We're just gonna tell you stuff.
I don't remember the first thing I remember, but I do remember there was at least 2 times where there was an earthquake. Like the whole house shook, things was falling.
Telling you the chandelier was going. And
we called my grandpa next door and was like, man, are you good after that earthquake? And he'd be like, what earthquake?
Yep.
Like, what?
My dad was there, and he would call somebody down the street or somebody up the block.
We had to make sure everybody was good, and everybody was like, what are you talking about?
Ain't no earthquake, you tripping. And we was like, no, our house is definitely shaking.
Whole house.
The biggest thing for me, we was arguing. It was around Christmas time. So it could have been, I don't know how old we were, but somewhere around 20 years to the date. No, it had to be more than 20 years.
Bro. Yeah,
it was more than
20 years. Yeah, it was more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Dang, we old.
We shouldn't say things like that out loud. We was arguing around Christmas time. My mom was in the kitchen cooking or doing something. The way our house was set up, you come in the door and there's like a little lobby vestibule area or whatever. And then to the right are the stairs. Then you go to the left and you come through a walkway is the living room. Then you keep going is the dining room and then the kitchen. Now in the dining room, we had a dining room table and we had a fireplace right next to it. And on the mantle, it was a bunch of stuff. But there was we had crystal candle holders. sitting on the mantle, minding their business. These are symmetrical. They was sitting on their own.
Minding their very own
business.
Okay.
Now, we are being preteen/teenagers, just arguing, being dumb or whatever, fighting. My mom's getting frustrated. She in the kitchen and she yells out, "Hey, y'all need to knock it off," or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And we was like, all right. Then we got right back at it. Literally like 5 seconds after we got back into whatever foolishness we was doing, the candle holder, which was again minding its business,
and it's heavy, by the way,
flew off of the mantelpiece across the room and hit the wall. Now you remember that wall that had windows in it too.
Yeah.
With the bench. So it didn't go through the window, but it hit the wall, and we both just stopped and stared. And we just...
That was so creepy,
we ran into the kitchen. Well, I was like, what was that? We was like, bro, we had nothing to do with that. We had some.
One time we had a Bible... So my mom and stepdad used to host a Bible study for us and our friends. DU.
What up, y'all? Hey, we need to do a podcast, y'all.
Can I finish?
Whatever.
Let me be great. Okay, so we're in the middle of Bible study. We always lock the door, bro, because it's like everybody's in. Lock the door because it's essential. When it was black,
yeah,
it was dangerous.
Out here. Pop. Did happen.
So we in the middle. She ain't finna make that.
No. We're watching a terrible driver try to park.
Super terrible. So the door is locked. We in the middle of Bible study. Israel Hill. No, this might be a separate time. I got two stories. Okay. So this time, Israel was like, oh, I'm not gonna go to Bible study. I think he was in Portland or something. I don't know.
Is it, you talking about, oh, go ahead.
He was like, I'm not going to Bible study. He was like, okay, cool, whatever. So the door was locked. Everybody was inside. Next thing you know, the door opens and Israel walks in.
He came bursting in.
And we was like, first of all, the door is locked. So he's like, nah, it was just open. I didn't even barely turn the knob.
And I remember him saying I didn't barely turn the knob. And for those of y'all that know me, y'all know I smoke. This was a non-smoking time. Nobody in the house smoked, so nobody was in and out.
Nah.
You know, we locked it. Because what happened, we had Bible study, and then we'd eat. You know what I'm saying? So we was in the house for a good amount of hours. So it was locked. And he came in like the door was open. It wasn't.
It wasn't. And then that other time, everybody was in Bible study. Israel was there too. Everybody was in Bible study, had the door locked. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the door just opens. Ain't nobody out there to open it. Nothing. That was creepy. That was creepy.
Yeah.
I was going to say that was creepy.
No. One time, I was in the bathroom. So we had a two bathroom house. I was in the bathroom downstairs by the kitchen, and it was late. I don't even know why I was up down there. But I was going to the bathroom. While I was going, I had the door closed, and I am a locked door person. So I shut the door, and we have one of them latch. What you doing?
Well, that's a spider, but it's on the outside.
Don't play.
It's on the outside.
Oh. So. Y'all was finna see me go hamster. Okay. I was in the bathroom. We had one of them latches, you know, where you put the thing up and you put the bolt over it, one of them bolt locks. So we had one of those. I was going to the bathroom, and while I'm peeing, the handle to the door started shaking real fast, and I'm talking 6 cents. One of them, bro, had my hand on my peen, and I was going, and I was scared. But I was like white scared. It was like, I was peeing. I was like, we have to get to the bottom of this. So I finished up and I opened the door real fast because I'm thinking it's Meg. Actually, I thought it was my stepdad, you know, trying to prank. Opened it real fast. Lights was off. And the whole, because it was nighttime too. So the kitchen light was off. All the lights was off. I'm looking around the corner. Wasn't nobody to be found. And I was like, somebody touched this door. So I walked through the whole house slowly till I got to the stairs. Found no one. The door was locked. The front door. Not a good feeling.
One time we had a coat rack in the front. What do you call that?
The vestibule. Well, that's for a church. We have Bible study. Vestibule.
Sure. So there was a coat rack in there. For some reason, wasn't nobody's coat on it. I'm not sure. Where was our coats at? Cause
we would put them on, you know, the stair, the railing.
The banister,
we put them on the banister, which is dumb. We had a coat rack right next to the banister.
Coat rack.
We was like, nah.
So And yeah, because the coat rack was on that platform.
Yeah.
So I think we're in Bible study again, and the coat rack just falls over. Ain't nobody in there, first of all. Second of all, wasn't no coats on it.
And again, it's symmetrical. It was standing fine all day.
It just fell. So
Yeah.
there was that. It was kind of weird.
I remember I used to hear. So actually, the middle room, your room.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I think I slept in all the rooms at one point.
Yeah, you did.
All the rooms were mine.
Look at you.
But that middle room, in the closet, I could hear scratching in the attic. That was squirrels. That was squirrels.
Bruh.
But before we found out it was squirrels, I was like, there is a demon up there.
This story does not count.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, we say all that to say hauntings is real. You need to get you some Jesus and not sage. Amen?
Yeah. There was another one, but I forgot. The TV just used to turn on randomly.
Oh, yeah. See, now I thought, because the TV was one of the first things.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And so I figured that it was on a timer. Our stepdad, Chris, had a thing about timers. Alarm timer, he was like real concerned about that, radios going off, just making sure that if nobody was home, it seemed like somebody was home. So he was a timer person. And the first thing that happened was the TV started turning on. So I automatically assumed he had it on a timer. Little did I know, TVs in the 90s didn't have timers. So yeah, it got pretty deep around our way. It got a little choppy. But that's a little story of how we partially grew up. The devil tried to get us.
I mean, we got used to it after a while. But
we did, which is strange.
Yeah.
I don't think those are things you're supposed to get used to.
Yeah, nah. You ain't.
I've definitely been pushed. You ever been hit, like touched?
Yeah.
I literally almost yelled at my mom one time, and she almost yelled at me because both of us got pushed in our backs at the same time, and we both looked and turned at each other. And I was like, "What are you pushing?" She's like, "What you pushing me for?" And at that point, we was like, "What's going on?" And my aunt Catherine was like, Y'all might just had a literal physical attack. We was like, okay. But, yeah. So anyway, haunting is real. Get you some Jesus. That's what I think.
Facts.